Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 with my continuing playthrough of Imperator Rome, and we're looking at seeing how the game has developed since its release, as well as just having fun. Yeah, I like to do the live stream and have as much interaction as you like, and then but still put it up later in smaller bite size, or well, not too small bite size pieces for people to watch on YouTube later. That I see that, you know, people, and this is what various people have definitely we'll get to this in just a second, looked at, is the longer videos people will put off watching. Oh, I want to watch that, but it's 2 hours. I just don't have 2 hours. Oh, I've got 30 minutes to watch, you know, so put it in more, you know, smaller size bits. Okay. The traitorous snake who attempted to demean the name of Ptolemy II Caranos Langrid has been identified as another than Logos Rana quickly confessed to his crimes. How should we deal this? Forget him, his reputation is ruined, but he is currently command of an army. Execution for his crimes, we gain that. Will be executed. That's what we want to have happen, because he is our disloyal character, although there's a few others here. Or we can cover. No, we're gonna execute him. Okay, he's gone. We've gotten rid of our primary pretender to the throne. That worked out. Now we're back to the family. Okay, she is now 18 years of age. So what we want to do is see about getting her married. Let's see if we can get somebody. No, not old, younger. Okay, we can marry outside the family, but okay, this guy has really good stats. That's good. He's plain speaking, he's righteous, and he's abrasive. That might not be good for getting... And he's 20 years old. She has sister and very young. At least we got another Ptolemaeus here. That's nice. Okay, so it's going to be, well, at least 5-6 years before he could marry her. Okay, so let's let's find, you know, families. We're looking at him. Okay, so he's another direct descendant of Soter. Ptolemaeus first, Soter. Only 20 years old. Okay, that would be a good securing match. Keep it within the family, though. That abrasive, don't know if that's going to produce enough children, but we will go with this. Yes. Very good. There's so much we don't know about the ancient world. So much was lost. Let's increase the speed of the game a little bit. Okay, well, we've also built up enough money. Sort of been waiting for that, and maybe talking a little bit more than I should. Okay, I wanted to get that citizen output here, but we've also relatively decreased the cost of building buildings. So let's come over here and see about increasing some that will hopefully, in one fashion or another, increase money and general productivity output. Market that won't increase it much, but at least get that developing. And this one, honey is good. Money maker, we'll do that to try to increase the population. Okay, our current income. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a little more. Okay, foundry, commerce value, not really much up, so we'll do a tax office there. I don't know, I think maybe we'll just try to increase the population. Oh, they haven't had any. Yeah, population increases. I just don't know. People like clean, drinkable water. Seems to be one of the things that people like. Okay, and yeah, we have the... Let's do this, and we already have 2 markets, we'll do another 4. Okay. I am planning at some point here, once we build up a bit more, we're gonna do some of these missions, but they require money. Caught red-handed. Okay, we shouldn't be too hasty. Hold in front of the door. Sorry, sight. Okay, engine, straighten them out. See, neither one of this really helps. Just which is going to hurt us. This is going to hurt us less, I hope. Hope to hurt us less. He's still ruling out here. They're... we could declare war and take that. That's probably what we should do now. Especially now that we have that second army. Macedon gain. Okay, we'll not do that. Okay. Let's get ready for a war with Cyrenaica. So Ari, if you're still there, we're gonna have a war. Let's give you a general. You're good, but you're gonna be a little more expensive. Well, yeah, we're gonna let you command it. Okay, now you even got war elephants. Good. Okay, you come up to here, and you, since it looks like we have enough money, you start drilling. Okay, a foreigner arrives. So what did you bump up in age or something? Okay. So I just dropped a few fast words on a few nukes in this. Guatemala City. What are you playing, Toy Jet? Hoi 4, oh, okay. They're playing Hoi 4. Paradox has a new game that's coming out. That's what called ICBM, and basically you, you know, end up nuking everybody. You know. You try to win the nuclear war with ICBMs, bombers, and whatnot. Oh, pirates. We're okay. We're not going to send boats down there. You get to pirate us for a little while. See, so we're growing an experience training up, which will help. Hey, thanks for following. We really do appreciate it. At least I do. Okay, so... Okay, oh, let's select you, stop training. On board the boats. Everybody on board boats. You too. Everybody on board boats. Yes. Oh, well, yeah, no, okay, everybody but the mercenaries. Boats! Come to here. The Olympic Games. Okay, I think he was the winner last time. We'll send you again. See, they were a subject nation which has rebelled, but with that other army that was existing for a while down there was a little off-putting, so we're gonna slow this up, and I guess we'll save this. We're going to be here, and we're going to come over here. Declare war. Yeah, okay. Cool. And the army with elephants will go there, and the army without elephants will go there. Speech of the successor. Okay, we get troops. We get money, which we could use money. Political influence. We have a fair amount of political influence. Or stability. Well... we're doing okay growing back there, so I guess we're going to take the money and run. Melancholia. Okay, gains depression. Can we cure that? Now that we have money. Yeah, no. Melancholia is not considered curable. Okay, you march to there. These battles are sort of important to get slaves to Alexandria, which will be useful. But also I don't want to completely depopulate the region. Oh, he won again, 2 years or 2 times in a row. Yay. Okay, that did the stability. That's great. Now you come to take there. And so if we take this fortress, it'll get the regions around it without having to conquer them, so we don't depopulate them. Of course, we don't get slaves for them, so we both want slaves because we want to own this. See, if you weren't going to own this, then, you know, at the end of the war, then you might just want to, you know, pillage and plunder and take slaves. But if you end up owning it, it's sort of the double-edged sword. And what's Neil saying? Hello, gamer. Tropical with the Field of Glory. I find it quite fun, but it feels strategically stiff and not up to the level of this game. I like the character management roleplay, which Rome Total War also has. Yes, I would agree with your sentiments. It's really close as to which game I like the best between this and Field of Glory Empires. I really like the battle system in Field of Glory Empires. I like the better buildings and that type of thing. I feel I have in some ways better control over infrastructurally developing the empire, whichever one it may be, with empires. But I dislike the lack of who are these people? It doesn't. I don't think a game needs to be to this level of all these different families and whatnot. But to this extreme, not saying it's bad or wrong, but the complete opposite of just not having that at all, basically, I find missing with empires. Okay, where are these guys? Okay, they're up here. We'll bitch and moan about that. Oh, there's an army there. Well, what we're going to do is get on boats and just go around this. Uh-oh, they're coming back here. Well, we're going to get off the boats there. And once they come down to here, okay, they're locked in. Now we're going to attack. Oh, what the hell happened? Oh, what the hell happened? Oh, there's a Cyrenaican revolt. We're at war with the Cyrenaican revolt. What are you talking about here? What the hell? We're at war with them. Oh well, I don't know what that weird status change. We'll get on our ships and come back in without the black flag, hopefully. And reconquer the territory. Oh. So we fought some pirates and got a few extra vessels. Okay, well, we saw the black flag. Well, we saw the black flag on our troops. Well, let's put our good troops on shore here. Hey, drunken barbarian. Happy Trader Day. Yeah. Okay, well, now we're coming back here. Thank you very much. We liked our guns too much to give them up. Because you guys wanted to come and take them away from us at Lexington, so... make the most of us. We get money. Yeah, we're doing okay for money. Province, slave output. Okay, more loyalty from him. Slave output. We get some money. Okay, that's the one we'll do. So you British came to take our money. I mean our guns. And we decided to say, fuck off. And so, that is why we had to become independent. And ultimately, I'm glad we did. Now we have to take these people all over again. Maybe we'll just get money from them and not have to depopulate them anymore. Lack of food. Okay, these guys are getting much food in here. Oh, come on now. Are these guys coming back for round 2? Oh, more slaves. Okay, we've won the siege. Their boats are coming out of port. And we're fighting a battle. We're not doing so great. Even though we had the bigger float. Oh no, we're now doing good. Okay, well, we're victorious. They lost a bunch. And how they gained some, I don't know how that worked. We also gained some. Switch. Keep switching sides? What is that now? How can that be? You have to keep reconquering you? What the? Who is this now? Oh, we depopulated so much that there's no longer anybody there. Oh, I hate this. Is why I didn't want to keep retaking the damn places. I gotta take it to win it. I'm liking it. I'm really enjoying it. It's not great, but it's, like I say, I'm liking it. So, that's sort of where I'm at right now with this. Well, I don't know that I can really not enslave people here. Enslavement efficiency, it's something that was, I think, more of a Roman thing. A lot of this, as sort of the name implies, Imperator Rome, is sort of focused on the way things happened with Rome, and very obviously other nations, groups, whatever you want to call them, took slaves in conquering, but I don't think... I think Rome did it to a greater extent, or at least did it to a more organized, methodical extent than just about anybody else. And that was sort of the way they paid for things. I'm unsure of how much they sort of paid soldiers. I know soldiers would often go for years without pay, and that, you know, they get their food paid for and whatnot, but they wouldn't get, you know, their pay. Because I know Caesar was, you know, didn't pay off a lot of his legions from the Gallic Wars until he brings them to Rome, and they've been, you know, out there for years. So and owed a lot of money, and I'm a little unsure of how some of this worked, as you can tell. But I do know soldiers from, successful conquests and things got slaves. There are shares, a percentage of the slaves taken so that they would, as a way of, paying them. And be able to, mostly the idea was to, sell them. So, yeah, no, there was more of a contract. Just as soon as I. Got some lands from. Well, but you see, no, the Roman soldiers did, unless they were being settled. See, and they wouldn't necessarily be settled until they were breaking up that particular legion, and your 20 years was done. Prior to Marius, Rome was citizen soldiers, and then under Marius you had the reforms. That's why they called them Marius's mules. And you now turn it into the legions are turned into professional soldiers, and you enlist for 20 years, and then you very well may get lands and very well may be in a conquered area at the end of your enlistment, at least as normal. So that's when you get that out. But you might spend, it'll be, your 20 years. You want to get some money prior to that. So yes, we're multi-streaming here, Drunken Barbarian. So whatever is best for you to watch on, I get to see the chats from Twitch and YouTube, and while it lasts, Mixer. I am going to start doing more streaming on, but I have to pay to be able to stream on multi-stream onto Facebook Gaming, and so I will be doing that coming soon. I just need to get the thing set up and paid for it, a monthly thing. So yeah, wherever you want, some viewers like Tippett in Australia, sometimes I think it's just the local weather and whatnot disrupting his internet. But I also think there in India and some places out there, YouTube is easier, less buffering for them, for viewers to watch. So if that's easier for you to watch on YouTube. I'll still see your chats. If you like it better on Twitch, watch it there. I'm also getting the chats from there. So either way, whatever's good for you. I know I'm not facing. I was more of just an experiment. I'll go into more in detail offline with you, Arno, on what's going on with Facebook Gaming and myself. Okay, we need somebody religious. Okay, if we put him here, we'll get one more. It's 2 down, but we'll get a family a little more. Prestige, covering position, whatever you want to call that. Yeah, and just like these other things, I'm going to treat it like I do here. You're saying, it's horrid over there. Well, one, they're going in big time, and they want to be they are sort of one of the big three now that Mixer's going away. But their market share is going to continue to grow. And what I really sort of hope is for more discoverability, just to have more people out there, because I don't use Facebook much. But if there's people out there looking for gaming content and it happens to be some of the games that I'm playing, I'm hoping they will find me, and whether they want to continue watching me on Facebook, great. If not, they can jump over to YouTube or Twitch. So I'm using that mostly as discoverability, have more people find the channel or channels or whatever. So that's what I'm using it for, much more so than because it's good or bad or whatever. Okay, terrifying thunderclap in the sky skies of Alexandria last night heralded a terrifying, awe-inspiring sight. Very fabric of creation seemed to torn asunder by flame and Zeus, as if by Zeus himself. Okay, well, almost as soon as the tower crept away of horizon and haste the resonances. Okay, well, we gained stability. Good. Owning the territory of Sidon. We'll continue this. Okay, where do we, is this side? Do we own Sidon? No, we don't. Okay, and it is that Sidon. That is actually Sidon here. Is that how you spell that? How's Sidon? Yeah. The city of Sidon, whatever. That's actually a city that's out on an island that resisted, I hope I have all this history correct that I'm giving you here, that had long resisted conquest, and it was just an island off the coast, and with a bit of a navy. And Alexander the Great, comes marching down in his conquests and wants to get it, and they refuse to surrender to him, and they're just going to hold out. So what Alexander does is build a causeway. He fills in out to the island and connects the island to the land, and then storms the city and takes it. So yeah, and which Sidon to this day is now attached to the land because more and more land built up around the causeway. Well, you're very welcome, Drunken Barbarian. Just started playing it this week. Well, very good. I'm glad it's helpful. I am glad because it helps so many people like you get it installed, and so that you play mine and some of the other mods out there is great, but it's also another way I get people to discover the channel. Maybe a lot of them may not watch a lot of content other than that, but still just having subscribers helps. Okay, that's turned over to our, just don't waste, just leave our control. We don't want to have to keep reconquering them. Okay, now come down and take out this last army and conquer the fortress there. You fall back now because they're leaving there. No, keep coming here. No, don't switch over to there. Okay, just sit there until we conquer this other city. They've taken heavy attrition losses because of lack of food earlier on. And that is partially why we need to do that. Okay, Pontus. Yeah, we don't want to get Pontus too upset with us. Okay, spread of ISIS. ISIS welcomes Egyptian lose stability. Yeah, okay, well. But see that coming of ISIS, an Egyptian cult. Wait a minute, aren't we Egyptian religion here? Yeah, that's some of the sort of problem with this sort of Roman-centric game and dealing with other cultures. Not that it's Roman-centric is the problem, it's just the way they handle this. Okay, we've won this siege. Now they're coming here. And these guys are coming this way. because we want to take this also. We want to conquer it fully. Temple of Apollo, Macedon? Oh, well, we're gonna fight Macedon here in a while. Okay, so we'll get them a little upset with us. We are victorious. We'll do it. Now you march down to there, and you come down to here. Yeah, one of our armies, this army has camels. This one has elephants, which they've lost a lot of elephants at the siege, which is not good. And they're expensive to replace. Yes, I know you want a peace deal to save something of your country, but no. We're gonna come in and crush and take all, because I want Cyrenaica as mine. Let's move you up here so we just sort of observe. Oh, now we have pirates to go after. Let's go after the pirates. Yay, looks like we're gonna beat them. Maybe gain a few extra ships, hopefully. Must not neglect the arts. Yeah, we can afford that. Okay. Okay, well, it looks like we lost some vessels. Bummer. They were sort of beat up from before. They haven't been sitting at port long enough. Okay, let's move them back to one of our ports. Let's move you out of the desert and up to here, so you won't have attrition problems, hopefully. Now we've lost all of our elephants and keeping them in the desert as long as we did. We're playing as Egypt, Ptolemaic Egypt. You know, the Greeks ruling in Egypt. That's what we're playing as. Alexander's Dream. Well, we've got a few elephants back now that we're in greener pastures as opposed to being out here in the desert. And no, elephants don't do terribly great in the desert. Oh damn, they're taking this damn thing back. Okay, well, you march over here. They're not in good shape. Okay, livestock. No longer importing livestock over here. Our source we were dealing with. Okay, let's... Idea sounds good. And spices over here we're no longer importing. Let's see if we can find another... Okay, South Nubia. And probably most everybody watching this knows, but Cleopatra was not black. Cleopatra was Greek. So Elizabeth Taylor is not the wrong skin color to play it. Though she probably, well, who is beautiful as Elizabeth Taylor? Very few people, of course. But she probably wasn't nearly that beautiful at all anyways, but Oh, don't take even that. Come on. I don't want to lose more population here. We specifically avoided taking that place by conquest. Maybe that's counting as liberation and not a... That should fall soon. Chase them down, keep going. Kick their butts. Good, our Greek allies are coming in with us. Yes, I did. I thought it was very good. As in presenting history, culture, and society. And go to location, good. Okay. Now one last kick their butts, it looks like, or at least drive them out. Manaveris, you will join our court. We'll get a new character appear, or morale apartment will. Well, was it meant to go any longer? I don't know. Because I know it was very expensive to make. Have you ever watched I, Claudius, the series, or maybe even read the books, but that's sort of what got me hooked on Rome, was I, Claudius. As soon as we get Marion? Rio? I don't know. Okay. Now, open diplomacy. Cyrenaica, sue for peace. We're taking everything. Everything is ours. Okay, oh, we still have... Oh, damn. How did we... Who is the... Oh, this is still the revolt. Okay, let's look at our... we'll pass judgment on import. What? Oh. What happened with that? Maybe there's no important damn families? Okay, in diplomacy, sue for peace. We'll take all this. Okay, pass judgment on. Oh, this is the only family we get to pass judgment on. Well, he'll be loyal. Okay. Maybe it was because of that revolt thing. Hoping to get the family back in. Henry stayed home from Boy Scout just to watch I, Claudius. Yes, I, Claudius is great. At the time, Rome was the most, expensive ever made. They had the largest budget in the world. Yeah, I remember Claudius. Totally forgot that was a thing. Oh yeah, well they say that's what sort of really started me on my interest in the ancient world. If you like I, Claudius and Rome, and you want to learn more about Ptolemaic Egypt, I would recommend the Cleopatras. You can find it on YouTube. That's the only place I've been able to find it, and the quality is just iffy. Looks like an old VHS recording of the TV series. There's a British TV series. Don't know if you've watched it. It's overly... They're presenting them always as Egyptians. Meaning they're always dressed up as Egyptians. But it's set, in Alexandria, and it's sort of from the woman's view, because it's called the Cleopatras. It's sort of the woman's view of the Ptolemaic dynasty, going multi-generational. And it's a little bit more soap opera drama from I, Claudius, a lot less history. Robert Graves wrote I, Claudius, and Claudius the God. Robert Graves translated a bunch, and is still one of the more popular translations of a bunch of Latin Roman era works into English. So he was very familiar with the original context. So he was really good at coming up with the history for I, Claudius. And that's what they then used his 2 books to base the series off of. So it's really good. The Cleopatras are much more sketchy, but if you're interested in the Ptolemaic dynasty, which predates, because I, Claudius starts with Octavian as Augustus as emperor. Obviously, Cleopatra's end with Octavian taking over Egypt. So it sort of predates that. It was made after it for the series, but yeah, I would highly recommend a watch of it. Is that the thing? Okay, great. Thanks, Arno. Thanks so much. And so, yeah, it's an 8 or 9 part or whatever series. And like I say, the history is much less solid just because history is much less solid on, the details of the time period than we know very well documented, all things considered. Julius Caesar, Augustus, and whatnot. That's fairly well documented compared to the Ptolemaic reigns. Sometimes we have just names and successions, and we're not even sure. I've saved off a relatively, unfortunately, the original website is gone. I actually had to go use the Wayback Machine to find version of it, and I saved off stuff on the Ptolemaic family history. And even then, we're not always sure who the parents were of some of these are the kings and queens of one of the major empires of the world that, of course, recorded everything, on the sides of buildings. They continued the Egyptian tradition of, recording history, as it were, on the sides of buildings. And then they had the greatest library in the world, which, of course, recorded all that. But so much of that is lost by drunken barbarians, partially. But yeah. I would love to do a. I'm not saying Rome, the series, wasn't proper, but I would love to do a longer, better, and doesn't necessarily have to be quite as big budget. I think, not sure, but I think the most expensive movie ever to be made in the history of movies, adjusted for inflation, because it was some time ago, was the movie Cleopatra. Supposed to be, cost like $2 or $3 million. Ended up $30-40 million. All kinds of budget overruns, and this is the version that was. They have slightly different names, but the Elizabeth Taylor version is the most expensive movie in the history of movies, and that presents a Hollywood version overly grandiose, especially when looking at Rome, especially Rome. No one, to my knowledge, has ever done justice to the grandioseness in a movie of Alexandria. It was done on a Hollywood set kind of scale. So that would not, probably Hollywood would do a cheaper version of it, or at least, cheaper looking version of it than reality. Because I think it's like one of the main streets through Alexandria was 90 feet wide or something, or maybe even wider than that. You could have, huge amounts of traffic going both ways on it. It was almost sort of like a huge, massive plaza that was a really long street going on. So HBO Rome was great. Really enjoyed it. Second season was cut short. Yeah. High spiraling. And so I would love to see that, continued through to sort of like I, Claudius, but actually all the way through, because they sort of ended at the end of, because it's I, Claudius is written. Robert Graves, if you don't know, like I said, was saying wrote I, Claudius, and he wrote it as if Claudius was known to be a bookworm and I believe, writer of some books. I don't know if any of his books survived, but he was very much of a researcher. But this is supposed to be what he wrote, what Graves wrote. Oh, I was supposed to say yes, but a book was meant to be what if Claudius sort of wrote a history of his times, that he personally experienced, as well as some other historical research around some stuff. Jews leaving for Judea. Okay, fine with me. Yes, Alexandria is the capital here of Ptolemaic Egypt for sure. And so he wrote it in that version. So obviously it stops. We actually sort of see his death, but it stops, or maybe he's predicting his death. And the book is written and sort of presented as if somebody unearths a copy of the book, in modern day. And Graves, I think, pulls it off. I say that because I don't read the original Latin. I don't, know. But he writes it in English. But yeah, he's, translates a lot of Latin over, so he's very familiar with it. But I would like to see it out to the end of Nero's, because Nero is the end of the dynasty, basically, of Julius Caesar, as it were. So that's what I would like to see done in sort of a Rome style, which obviously it can be that big budget. Now, I'd love to see a series done that starts with Philip II. Maybe jumps some generations, but covers a lot of the Hellenistic world, just because it might not have enough good information for some of the periods of it. But you have Pyrrhus's sort of empire, of the Pyrrhic victory. Pyrrhus. How hard you want to do the P, I don't know. But his story is fascinating. Oh, there's so many fascinating tales that you could put in and sort of do a Rome style. See, I, Claudius was done really cheaply. It was done with, everything's indoors. It's done with fairly cheap sets, but actually sets that were probably realistic to the time. So we will move our army with the elephants over here to keep them all from feeding in one spot. Oh yeah, no, he wrote the book I, Claudius, and the series is based on his two books together, I, Claudius, and Claudius the God, which is sort of part two. He becomes a god sort of in Britain, while he's alive, which is very unusual because Romans normally deified, started, I don't know if they deified before, I just don't know if they deified before Julius Caesar. He was definitely deified in death. And they deified a few other emperors in death. But Claudius was specifically deified sort of in Britain as the conqueror, though he really wasn't. Not so much deified back in Rome. And so, yeah, Graves was really good. Oh, you're saying on Claudius's own writing. Well, no, it's based upon Robert Graves writing as if he were Claudius. I don't know that any of Claudius's works exist, but a lot of what Claudius, my understanding, was writing was histories of other family relatives back a generation or two. So he was like going through the various libraries of the time. And a lot of these, when I say libraries, I don't mean like a lending library or even they didn't really do lending libraries like we think of them today, or even a sort of semi-public library. I mean, like, and there may have been some of that, but going to like a library in a temple where they kept the records, or a different house, different people's, having libraries in their own house, and doing the research on, historical figures, and I think some of them of his own family, that he never met. And he was doing a lot of that type of writing of histories. That's my understanding what Claudius wrote. And now, again, it's been some years since I've watched Claudius, and many years since I've read Robert Graves' 2 books. I have a few other of Robert Graves' work as well, but okay, well, we're going to end this episode here. Not the live stream. All of you people on Twitch and YouTube, you can just hang loose. But those watching on YouTube later, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. I hope you're enjoying my interesting I hope they're interesting history talks. Thank you. You can place that series link too. That's good. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time for more historical ramblings from Gamer 1745.